the whole tank. We're using the paste, the 4CR paste. See how that's going to come up. I think he's going to the big Ruts Hut bike show, so maybe I'll win a free hot dog or something. I don't know what he's going to win. A trip on the Titanic. Easy to do, right?
Yeah.
No big effort, yeah. We have had some just phenomenal weather in the last week and a half. Got a lot of riding in, and today we want to take a little break. I want to finish off Vlad's parts. I can get the clear on it today. And I have some honeydew lists that, if I don't do them, maybe the end of windy videos. And every day there's good news, bad news, good news, mediocre news. Good news this morning. I got my tracking number for the muffler. Should be here in a few days. Can finish that up. Ruts Hut Old Bike Night is coming up, less than a week away. Always an exciting time in the summer, always a lot of good action down there. A lot of nice bikes, and it's with a group that we don't generally hang around with, so there's always some new bikes to see. And a honeydew list, as I said, this time of year, the garden calls, the weeds are calling, the fish are calling, the wife is calling. And I'm sure Vlad will be happy if I get his part and clear today. And he can come and pick that BIMOTA stuff up. That'll be a real nice little thing for him. He can get that put back together. And we have that set of levers coming from China. Those are the ones Luciano found these years ago, and they've been a good deal. But no good productive day would start without feeding the fish, having coffee, feeding the birds, and getting that honeydew list cooking. And it is truly a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. Early in the morning like this, the roses are already out. The breeze is starting to blow. And the fish are having indigestion from being overfed. Now, because we airbrushed this part, there really isn't a lot of paint on it as such. So what I'm going to do is just very carefully and gingerly just go over this with some 1000 grit. Try to get out any dust that might be in the paint, any little imperfections. If I go through into the plastic, I'll just airbrush in a little more black before I put the clear in, which is not a big deal. The whole big deal is to keep this where it ends as little paint as possible. That's what's going to make this job possible, if we can get that edge nice. And I think we can. Now, because the part is, again, if this were just a part you could buy like at a dealer for 50 bucks, you wouldn't spend this much time and energy doing it. In fact, I've already gone through into the plastic here because there's some rough spots. But it won't matter. I'm just going to airbrush in another coat of black. It'll take a few minutes. It's a bright sunny day, so the paint is going to dry in a matter of 10-15 minutes. I'll be ready to put the clear in. Yeah, I'm going right through on one of the areas that's where the repair is. So we'll try to get this as smooth as we can. Again, I try to make the plan on this as I go along, because you never know. Every one of these repairs is totally different and totally unique. Yeah, I'll have to airbrush that in. Okay, so once that's done, I got a couple little spots up here too. Then I'll set up the airbrush with the black paint. We've had our IWATA airbrush many, many, many years. Thank you again, Will Namora. Made this all possible. Wow, this paint is good thing I'm the tough guy here. Anyway, we're using the same matching paint, so that's not an issue. And we have plenty left over. We didn't cut it to the bottom of the 9th when we did this job. And because we've cleaned the gun again and again and again, I always suggest clean the hell out of it. Now that noise you hear in the background, they're chopping a tree down on my neighbor's yard. Oh my God, what a mess. Look at that garden. What a labor of love that is. Everything I do is a labor of love. All right, this has to dry. 20 minutes, we'll have a cup of coffee. Are we ready to put the clear on? Now, as always, the single most important thing anytime you have an airbrush job is to thoroughly clean the airbrush. In this case, we got some ordinary acetone. Some people prefer using thinner. I like acetone. And the whole trick that I found, let that whole end sit in there for a couple seconds. Take it out, it'll be full, the cup will be full. Okay? Let it blow some bubbles in there. And take it outside and just run about 3 cupfuls in there. And this airbrush is a very, very old unit, and it's just as good as it gets. It's like it's brand new. Because I take care of it. That's the whole trick. The trick is if you have, well, I guess the trick is if you have an old motorcycle, taking care of it is the whole name of the game. And if you don't take care of it, you look on eBay and Craigslist, and there's an endless supply of motorcycles that have been left out in the tundra, and they're available at the right price. Usually they're frozen shut and God knows rust buckets. But anyway, I do an airbrush is a delicate thing, much more delicate than a spray gun. But once you do that and it's clean, now I can put this away. Another thing that's very handy, these lightweight hoses, but that is a very useful tool. And this is the clear that we've had such good luck with. The clear, the fast hardener, and here's what I would always suggest. You keep the hardener, because we're using this right up. Keep this in the refrigerator, and this, if you can, in a cool spot, but I keep it in the cellar. Just prolong the life a little bit. Now, I'm at the bottom of this, and I was hoping I wouldn't have to buy another gallon of this until the fall comes, because I don't like to maintain an inventory. I'd rather have fresh stuff, like fresh bananas. But we have just enough, I hope, to do this. So with a fresh cup of coffee underneath the belly button here, we're ready to get going. Now, the clear really needs about 20 minutes between coats to dry. I'm going to try to get 3 coats on about 20 minutes apart. That's usually a good protocol. What happens, and the most important thing in this case, because it's a touch-up, is to minimize the amount of clear up around that edge. And then as we come away from it, get the clear a little bit thicker. That would be a nice little thing, if we can get it to go that way. If they stop chopping that tree down, it sounds like they're done, but you never know if they're done. Okay, now the trick is we've got 2 coats on there. I'm looking at where I can put this. I ought to put it in the garage. I don't want any dust to get in it. The paint's laid down pretty nice, and I want to just peel back this little area. There's a little area where I have a repair, and I'm going to do that John Pothia thing. I'm going to take what clear is left in the gun, put a little bit of black in it, and then just with a brush just try to fill that river. Okay, this is the little ditch we're trying to fill. Now, I don't know how successful this is going to be. This is the first time we've done it this way, but John Pothia usually has some good technology, and he's done this on his Corvette many times, so we're going to see how this works out. So what we have is just a little bit of the clear that's left over, and I put just enough black in to make it opaque. You can see it's not like black paint. It's not going to cover. We're just trying to fill that that little ditch if we can. And I don't know how this is gonna, until I do this, I don't know how this is gonna dry up. My neighbor Jason, who actually is my next door neighbor and has a classic old Harley Sportster that he wants to polish out the gas tank. While this is drying, that might be a good time for us to do it. We're going to find out. I'm just going to try to fill the river. If I make it come up higher than the surround, it won't matter because I can block sand it down. And this will be an interesting test, that's for sure. So now what I'm going to do is put a coat on, go do some honeydews because the honeydew melons are getting overdue here. Let that dry, come back, put a second and a third coat on. Again, this material about 20 minutes apart. Now after 20 minutes I can see I may even need a third coat on this because it's a really deep gouge. But each one I am just filling up what I call fill up the ditch. So I'll wait about every 20 minutes. And that material does get almost dry to the touch in 20 minutes in this temperature. Let's see how this works. We got to keep this day on track with extra coffee. This is going to be it's really getting hot out there too. Paint should dry up very nicely today. Pretty good timing. Jason just got here with his classic Harley Sportster. I got to find out what year it is. But it's one they didn't make that many of. It's an 1100cc Sportster. I don't know much about Harleys, but I guess we'll find out.
Clean off and stuff.
Okay, I'm trying to look at it. You know, what I'll try to do is that real good German polish. I'll put it on a buffer with a soft pad, and we'll just see if that's going to come. I think it'll come right off.
Yeah.
The rest of the thing looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the tail's fine. This one I just gotta, when I wax it, I'll wax, but the rest of it's pretty clean.
What year is this now?
87.
87. And it's a rare year. I'm trying to tell my subscribers. Yeah, it's a Sportster 1100.
They only made them for 2 years, and I think they only made 2,200 of this bike. So, I wonder how many are left.
Well, if you're not selling it, who cares?
No, I know. Yeah.
I don't care what the value of anything is.
It was my godfather's. He got it for a gift.
It's a family thing.
It was too small for him, so he just never told my aunt. He felt bad. She bought it for him for his birthday.
Yeah.
And eventually, when I wanted to start riding, he said, "Why don't you take my Harley?" And it just needed a good cleanup and tune-up. This was all pitted. I changed the pipes. The covers were original. Everything's original except for this and the pipes.
It looks in pretty nice shape.
Yeah, they just did the top end. They just cleaned the carb out. Oh my god, the carb cleaning makes such a big difference. Holy cow.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was such a dog, like it was really that bad.
You do the whole tank. We're using the paste, the 4CR paste. See how that's gonna come up? I think he's going to the big Ruts Hut bike show, so maybe he'll win a free hot dog or something. I don't know what he's gonna win. A trip on the Titanic. Easy to do, right?
Yeah.
No big effort, yeah.
I don't need to put any more on this, do I?
No, you don't. We still got a little bit of residue. That looks like gas, the residue. So there you go. Now the only problem is once you polish one part of a bike, now you want to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, geez, the shocks. Oh yeah, get me. See, we got him addicted now. One little dose of heroin and he's ours forever.
It was weird. They used to have a leather strap that went across here, I guess, for the passenger.
Yeah.
But you could never get the seat on and off.
Is that a stock Harley seat or
this is the
aftermarket?
This is the original seat.
Okay, so you probably could buy the strap from Harley.
No, I don't need it. I cut it off on my own because I can never get the seat on and off. It's like the bolt's hidden underneath this piece here.
And you never found a fender? You can't find a fender for it? Or you don't want it?
No, I don't want it right now.
Okay, so you got like
one, and then when I let you know, I'll have it.
Like a retro look, yeah. The guys with the cafe racers, nobody wants a front fender.
No, and I don't ride in the rain. I have a full windshield for this too, a huge one. When I
nice and quiet. We hear you coming.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope she feels better.
Yeah, I hope so too. Take it easy. Well, this is the noise you heard on the video. Wow. Let that sucker go, baby. Woo! Macho work. Macho, baby. Jason's not looking, we're going to throw his bike in the chipper. Look at this. Wow, what a mess. Oh my God. So this is our house, and this is Jason's house right here. So we get to hear the Harley from time to time. And I guess he gets to hear our bikes. And we all get to hear that wood chipper. Wow. This has been quite an eclectic day. Something we always like, a very eclectic day. No 2 days the same, and today, definitely not the same. So what I want to do, this is the final coat that I'm going to get in here in the what I'll call the ditch. This is going to dry overnight. Tomorrow is slated to be a riding day, but then we'll get back to working on this. We'll see if this, and actually to be to our advantage, we'll let this dry an extra day so we can buff this. Sand and buff that, and that'll be really nice. And John, I hope this works out as well as the ones on your Corvette. And we really, when Jason, I told Jason, be cool, let's put his Sportster in the chipper. He didn't think that was funny. That's some chipper. That's unbelievable. That probably would grind up a motorcycle in a minute, even with some guy on it. So today ends, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed seeing Jason's Sportster. Actually, a paint on that came out really, really nice. Anyway, that's our 4C product. Once again, works on cars really nicely. I've done my Toyota with it. Just good material. Anyway, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to get some riding in, share some rides, share the buff out of this in a couple of days. And thanks for watching.